What's up, everyone? Good morning or good afternoon. No, we're all in the afternoon now. But welcome to welcome to the Lunchbox Features Training Series. This is our first session in this. Today, we're going to be looking at location ordering features. My name is Tommy. I am a technical training manager at Lunchbox, and here with me to assist me is Sammy. Say hi, Sammy.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sammy, like Tommy mentioned, and I am on the client success team. So I'll be leading these with Tommy for the next 6 weeks or so.
Great. Yeah, and if you have any questions at all, feel free. At the bottom of your page, you'll see an Ask a Question button where you can post up, and I'll pause and take any questions that you may have, or feel free to use the chat as well, which is on the right-hand side of your screen. All right. So as I mentioned, we're going through location ordering features. This is our first session of this series. So I'm really excited to jump in and get started with y'all. So what we're going to be going over is everything really you can see on the location page in terms of what you can adjust for your restaurant's location. So with that is ASAP ordering, scheduled orders, prep times, lead times, delivery times, service estimates, estimate thresholds and increment, order throttling, and order in advance days. At the top right of this deck is a resource center documentation link. For anybody who's joining us today, I'll provide this deck as well, so you can use it for reference in the future and to find things easily. Okay. So jumping right in, we have our Lunchbox admin dashboard. Just a reminder of how to get there. We're going to admin.lunchbox.io. And once you log in, let me make sure my password is correct. And once you log in, you'll land on your analytics page. I'm using Sticky's finger joint as an example for today, and we're going to be going to the locations page, and then we're going to dive right into the first one on the list, which is 1 Madison. Okay. As you can see on this page, you have all the location details, the location status. They are all open and active right now for their location, their delivery, and their pickup status. If you look at their live site, you can see the same thing here with their store hours and pickup hours. I'm not showing delivery hours currently just because I am in South Florida, so I don't think Stickies would be able to deliver to me, unfortunately. But jumping into ASAP ordering, right here on this page, you'll notice that there isn't anything specifically for ASAP ordering. ASAP ordering will be automatically turned on once you have your status set up. Okay. You can see all your operating times, delivery times, and dine-in times at the bottom here, which will affect your ASAP ordering. Okay, if you go at the top of your screen and you turn this off, it will effectively turn off your ASAP ordering status. Okay, this can be disabled for all of the different items you see here. Some locations or some restaurant brands have pocket kiosk as well, which is a dine-in feature, which will show up if you have that feature as a part of your account with Lunchbox. And again, you can just turn that off right from here. Okay. Sammy, do we have any questions in regards to ASAP ordering?
Nothing so far.
Great. So we'll keep on moving along. So scheduled ordering. So this is the opposite of ASAP ordering. For scheduled orders, this is really where you can schedule in advance for an order. Many times a restaurant may not be open when you're looking up to place an order with a location. But so what would happen is you'd have to actually select a time in which to order. So for here, if I wanted to do that, I could change this from ASAP, and I could choose to do it at a different time where that is allowed. Okay. For scheduled orders, these time slots are 15-minute intervals. You're going to be looking at lead time and service estimates to adjust those intervals. Okay, and the time slot always adds a greater or service estimate or lead time to the current time itself. Okay, so if we're looking back on the admin dashboard page here, if you're doing this if you're setting this up, you would turn off your active status here, or keep it on if your restaurant is open, and be able to change your estimate threshold here for your scheduled orders. Any questions in regards to scheduled orders?
Doesn't look like we have anything yet. We're good to go.
Great, and just a note on this, as I didn't mention already, time slots when scheduling orders are always displayed using the time zone of the location itself, not like a standard Eastern Standard Time or anything like that. Moving into prep times, this is where we can adjust the amount of time it takes for a restaurant to prepare an order. Simple as that. If we're on our location page, we're looking at the prep time estimates. And as you can see here, that's for 10 minutes. This is where we can adjust and make changes depending on how busy the restaurant itself may be, and add some prep time if the kitchen is getting slammed or anything that might be affecting that prep time. What this will effectively do is let the customer know that it's taking a certain amount of time to prepare their order. Okay. Any questions about prep times? Great. So moving on to lead times. Lead times is actually not on the location features page. You have to go into settings itself, but I'll show you where that's located if you ever need to access it. You may not need to. You might be just using the hours that are on your location page, but if you're ever looking to locate it, you'll notice it in settings, and under lead times. Many times this is used specifically for catering, where you can add a certain amount of minutes to it, or you can just put it as your standard lead time for standard delivery or for pickup, just adding a little bit of extra time to either one of those. Any questions about lead times? Again, very similar to prep times. Delivery time is the amount of time the order will take to actually get to the guest itself. So this is not necessarily adjusted by how far away they are or what their delivery radius is, but it is selected just per the location and estimated right here. You can see for 20 minutes, and you can see this on the admin dashboard panel as well here at 20 minutes for a standard delivery order. Okay. This will also relay that information to a third-party delivery service, and it will provide them with those estimates and change those estimates as you change it on the Lunchbox admin dashboard itself. Okay. Service estimates. So this is the overall time it will take for the location to fulfill the order. So if we're looking at that, it's the prep time plus the dollar spent in the order divided by the threshold times the increment. So as you see here, you have prep time estimates and delivery time estimates. The thresholds here will once it gets to $100, it'll bounce it up another 10 minutes. Or I'm sorry, once it gets to $100, it'll bounce it to 15 extra minutes on that order. Okay. So this just kind of adds another layer that if you get a large order that might potentially back your kitchen up, it just adds a little bit of extra time to the fulfillment process of what the overall delivery estimate is going to take. Any questions on service estimates? Wonderful. So those estimates, thresholds and increments, as I just mentioned, they are again right here on the location ordering page, right below prep time and delivery estimates. You'll notice that these increments specify the number of minutes to add to prep time every time the threshold is repeatedly met. So as I mentioned before, here's an example. So if we have an order that starts with 20 minutes of prep time and has a threshold set to 100 minutes and an increment set to 10 minutes, it will, if the order ends up totaling $350, then it will pass the $100 threshold a total of 3 times. So it will multiply it 3 times. So it'll add 30 minutes to that prep time. Okay. So once that's added to the delivery time, that final full order time that it's going to take to reach the guest would then be 50 minutes instead of the standard 20 minutes, or 30 minutes rather. Great. Order throttling. So this is a nice feature that just allows for your restaurant to control a little bit more of what's coming in. It's a feature that takes into account the current volume of orders that a restaurant is set to fulfill for any incremental time slot, and it adjusts the availability of those time slots. Order throttling does not affect ASAP orders. So to utilize this, you have to turn off ASAP orders. You'll notice that you have these all active here. For order throttling to be used, those all need to be turned off, because essentially you're controlling and scheduling every single one of those orders and pretty much putting in time slots for those orders to be put in. Okay.
They can be one clarification on the previous screen. So ASAP ordering, like Tommy mentioned previously, is something that our support team or your CS partner can toggle on, and it will live right below location status. So it's its own field to toggle on and off. But like Tommy mentioned, order throttling can only be used when ASAP ordering is toggled off. So in this case, Stickies right now does not have order throttling, or sorry, ASAP ordering toggled on.
Yeah, great point. And this is really helpful if there's a large event or something that you know will really, really slam your kitchen. I mean, it's a great thing to get really, really busy, but we want to make sure that we can control it and that your guests are receiving their orders in an appropriate way. So this is where order throttling comes in. Great. Moving right along, order in advance days. So this is really setting up how far in advance a guest can place an order. This is really, really helpful for catering as well. And these can be set up right on your location page as well. You'll see this here. Order in advance days here. Order in advance days here. That goes for both standard and for catering orders. Okay, again, this is really helpful for larger orders that need to be fulfilled for a guest in a timely manner. This really allows for the restaurant to really prep and make sure that they are ready. Especially if you don't have catering for your restaurant group, this is another way in which you can take those large orders in advance. Just coming back to what I mentioned in the beginning, on the location page, you can always adjust your operating times for pickup, delivery, and standard dine-in hours if you have dine-in hours. And at the bottom of the page is where you would go ahead and do that. You see save buttons everywhere. So if you or your CS rep is making adjustments, we'll always just want to make sure that we're saving that information. So just to recap what we went through, we were looking at everything on the location ordering features page, looking at ASAP orders, scheduled orders, adjusting prep time, lead times, and delivery times, service estimates, estimate thresholds and increments, order throttling, order in advance days. And then finally, we were just looking at location operating times. At the top right, again, as I mentioned, there's a link to our resource center, which has all of the documentation in which I'm discussing today. And once again, I'll be sharing all of this deck with everybody who's attended this meeting. As you can see here, this goes through everything that we were just discussing and all of the different things you need to know for all of the ordering features. You can also find that by using your support chat, and that will take you right to the resource center itself. And pop up here. And if you have any questions and you need some more clarification, you can also always reach out to your CS rep, or we have the live chat function right at the bottom of the screen. Great. Well, I just wanted to touch base and thank you guys very much for joining this first series. I know it was somewhat of a quick one and we went through it, but if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in before we sign off. I'll be on here for another 4 minutes if you'd like to put those questions in the chat. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.